Welcome to the 700 Club. After death to America, the Iranian regime's favorite slogan, death to Israel. Now, with its citizens facing critical water shortages, Iran is getting an unexpected offer of help.
Iran's leaders say the country faces its worst drought in 50 years. As Chris Mitchell reports, Israel is offering a solution to their crisis.
It's an annual ritual since Ayatollah Khomeini took control in 1979. On Iran's Quds, or Jerusalem Day, thousands march shouting death to Israel while burning U.S. and Israeli flags and parading effigies of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It's just more evidence of Iran's goal to destroy Israel. In the midst of all that hate, Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke directly to the Iranian people.
Today I'm going to make an unprecedented offer to Iran. It relates to water. The Iranian people are victims of a cruel and tyrannical regime that denies them vital water. Israel stands with the people of Iran, and that is why I want to help save countless Iranian lives. Here's how. Iran's meteorological organization says that nearly 96% of Iran suffers from some levels of drought. Issa Kalantari, a former Iranian agriculture minister, said that 50 million Iranians could be forced out of their homes due to environmental damage. 50 million.
Netanyahu pointed out Israel also faces water challenges and has developed cutting-edge technologies to solve those challenges.
Israel recycles nearly 90% of its wastewater. That's far more than any other country on earth. We invented drip irrigation. Our technology targets individual plants with exactly the nutrients they need for each plant. Israel has the know-how to prevent environmental catastrophe in Iran. I want to share this information with the people of Iran. Sadly, Iran bans Israelis from visiting, so we'll have to get creative.
To reach the Iranian people, Israel launched a website in Iran's own language, providing detailed plans on how Iranians can recycle wastewater, save crops, and feed their families. While Iran's leaders rejected Netanyahu's appeal, others see it as a significant gesture from one people to another.
I think it was a very important statement coming from the Israeli Prime Minister to the people of Iran, that we are not just ready to renew our friendship between the nations, we are ready to help them in anything they would find useful, that Israel would help them, like water reserves.
The Iranian regime shouts death to Israel. In response, Israel shouts life to the Iranian people.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, it's a story you're probably not going to see elsewhere, but it's a story we've been reporting here on the 700 Club, and that's not just an isolated thing. For years, since its beginning, back in the 1950s, Israel was extending aid to her neighbors. Now, during the 1950s, Israel was poor. They were struggling to survive. Outbreaks of malaria throughout the Jordan Valley. They didn't have enough water. They didn't have enough food. But during that time of struggle, they got very inventive, and they figured it out. They figured out drip irrigation. They figured out how to recycle water, how to conserve water. And it's amazing the technology that they have discovered. Now, we've got stories for you if you want to know more about how Israel is reaching out to her neighbors. And the steady drumbeat of condemnation coming out of the UN. Here's a stat you may not know. Since 1980, Israel has offered and given humanitarian aid to over 140 countries around the world. Now, all of these stories, the stories we put together, 5 stories, are all new ones of Israel's aid to their neighbors, and whether that's Syrian refugees, Palestinian children in need of heart surgery, earthquake relief to Nepal. It's all here in a wonderful DVD called To Life, How Israeli Volunteers Are Changing the World. If you like it, it's yours for a gift of $10 or more. All you have to do is call us, 1-800-700-7000. Well, in other news, during the 2016 presidential campaign, an FBI agent tweeted his willingness to stop Donald Trump from winning the election. John Jessup has more on that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
Thanks, Gordon. President Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, is calling for a halt to the Russia investigation after a Justice Department report criticized key FBI figures for their actions during the presidential campaign. The report finds James Comey failed to follow standard protocols while investigating Hillary Clinton's private email server. It also reveals a shocking series of text messages between agents about the then presidential candidate Donald Trump. Jennifer Wishon has more on the report.
Former FBI Director James Comey's decision to hold a press conference and declare no charges should be filed against Hillary Clinton for the mishandling of classified documents was extraordinary and insubordinate, writes the Justice Department's Inspector General in his 500-page report. But he found Comey was not motivated by political bias.
Anyone who is hoping to use this report to undermine the Mueller probe or prove the existence of a deep state conspiracy against President Trump will be sorely disappointed.
The president responding on Twitter, the IG report is a total disaster for Comey, his minions, and sadly, the FBI. Comey will now officially go down as the worst leader by far in the history of the FBI. I did a great service to the people in firing him. Good instincts. He also addressed new text messages revealed between former FBI lawyer Lisa Page and FBI agent Peter Strzok. Page writes, "Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right?" Strzok responds, no, he's not. We'll stop it." Strzok was assigned to both the Clinton and Russia probes, and the IG writes he's not confident Strzok was free from bias when he decided to prioritize the Russia investigation over following up on Clinton emails found on Anthony Weiner's laptop. The damage caused by those actions, the IG finds, cast a cloud that extends far beyond the Clinton investigation and threatens the FBI's reputation for neutral fact-finding and political independence. Following the report, every FBI employee will receive new training.
That includes drilling home the importance of objectivity, of avoiding even the appearance of personal conflicts or political bias in our work.
The House Judiciary Committee plans to subpoena Strzok to testify, and some legal experts say the Justice Department should reconsider prosecuting Clinton and her top aides for mishandling classified material.
No decision on that was ever made actually by the Justice Department. It was only by the now terminated FBI director.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.
Thank you, Jennifer. The current immigration policy of separating families at the border is driving a wedge between Republicans, and now the House of Representatives is considering a bill to end the practice.
Kids to be separated from their parents. What's happening at the border and the separation of parents and their children is because of a court ruling. That's why I think legislation is necessary.
Under the zero-tolerance policy, people caught entering the country illegally are taken into custody. That means kids are taken from their parents and held in separate facilities. In defending the policy, the Trump administration argues authorities are only enforcing the law. Reverend Franklin Graham told CBN News that part of the law is wrong and Congress needs to fix it.
I think it's disgraceful. It's terrible to see families ripped apart, and I don't support that one bit. And I blame the politicians for the last 20, 30 years that have allowed this to escalate to the point where it is today.
You can see more of our interview with Franklin Graham on our website, cbnnews.com. Well, the Democrats may have won last night's annual congressional baseball game, but the biggest victory belongs to Republican Congressman Steve Scalise. 1 year after suffering a life-threatening gunshot wound, the House Majority Whip took his position at second base. Abigail Robertson has a story of his triumphant return.
On June 14, 2017, doctors doubted whether Representative Steve Scalise would live through the night and definitely did not ever see him playing baseball again. Thanks to a series of miracles, he's not only back on the Hill, but also back on the field.
To be able to walk back out on this field again a year later is an incredible feeling.
Miraculously, all 4 people shot at last year's practice were on the field at this year's game. And in a moment only God could orchestrate, the very first play of the night was a grounder that went right to Scalise, who grabbed it and threw the runner out at first. Scalise promptly pointed to the sky to give God the glory.
To think that after 9 surgeries and everything that I get to be back out here with my colleagues. It's God bless America.
Scalise credits the Lord for getting him to this point.
I almost lost my life, and through God's grace and marvels of medicine, I'm here.
He told CBN News a few months ago he knows this was all a part of God's plan for his life.
It was tough. A lot of those, dark days, just to lean back on the strength of God and not question what happened, but to be able to focus on just getting better. That's what God has provided me.
And Wally says he used to keep his faith to himself. He now proudly shares his testimony with all who want to hear it.
God bless each and every one of you, and God bless the United States of America.
I can tell you the power of prayer is real, it's powerful, and it was incredibly helpful to give me the strength I needed to come back.
Thanks, Abigail. Gordon, as if Scalise's story wasn't inspirational enough already.
Well, it's quite a remarkable story. Just the mere fact he survived, but not only survived, he prevailed. And here he is back on the same field, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful story.